the journey it's been for you and kind of what the last few months have been like for you coming back to the LPGA and how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster. Probably been through some of the toughest challenges physically and mentally of my entire career, and learned a lot about myself, my body, and I learned a new level of fighting just to get back out here, and I'm just so grateful, not for the physical experience, but what it has taught me about myself, about how there's life outside of golf. And I was fortunate to be there for my family when they needed me. But most importantly, it's about people that believed in my recovery in the process and really didn't let me be alone. So I'm very thankful for my trainer who's been there every single step of the way. My agent, who was probably so nervous for the first 6 months or the whole process. The doctors that I got to work with, who are from the USC hospital, and my family, my mom, who was there for me every single day, and my nieces and nephews, who really just pushed me to get back out here and to give it my all and to play the sport that I love. And I'm just really happy to be back.
If you feel comfortable enough, what are some of those challenges and what are some of the biggest lessons you've learned from your time away?
Yeah, I mean, I learned that the love for the game was bigger than I had ever imagined. I didn't think I was mentally capable of watching the Solheim Cup this past year in Spain, but I was there up in the middle of the night watching Team USA, and like I said, I learned how to fight again. I learned how to dig deep. The R word kind of came into play a little bit, just to, maybe is this the time to hang up the clubs and focus on something else? But I told myself I was going to be committed 110% to at least give myself a fighting chance, to especially play here at PV in front of my family, my friends, my coach, who has been so patient. And I just learned to give myself a little bit more grace, to be nicer to myself, to listen to my body. And, this is a grueling sport that not a lot of people can understand. These girls, or we do it week in and week out, and we put our bodies through a lot. And like I said, I learned so much about me, the capability that I have to keep fighting, to get up one foot in front of the other, and make some goals that I could achieve for sure.
I know this place has a special meaning to you. I know this is, like you said, where your coach is, where you practice. What does it mean to re-debut this year on the LPGA Tour at Palos Verdes? Yeah,
it's an extra special thing to make my comeback debut at PV. It was one of the biggest goals that I had, to make this the start of my 2024 season. And I wanted to do it not only for myself, but for the team that has been there for me, my inner circle that has pushed me to not give up. And Jim has been one of those people. This club has been such a significant part of my career, collegiate golf and now in the professional world. So I didn't want to let anyone down. But I knew it was going to be tough, but I'm just glad I'm here.
All right. I'll open it up to behind me.
Lizette, I know you stepped away because of back pain. Could you walk through when that first popped up and what the official diagnosis was?
Yeah, I've kind of struggled with back pain on and off, the last 4 or 5 years of my career, but not as bad as last year. We felt some significant pain in May, and, we learned we have a couple of disc issues. And then we learned it was a couple of more things, little muscular stuff, and which I'm thankful for the doctors that we got the diagnosis correct. And I was on crutches when my niece graduated from college. I was in crutches to see her. I was not gonna miss that. And then it was short, the day after the U.S. Open, I kind of felt some discomfort, and then my body just decided to shut down. And it was pretty scary. I don't wish that on anybody. It's not only a physical pain, but a mental pain, just to, you go through this process, like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? It's a lot of self-analysis. It's a lot of figuring out what had happened and how can we not only overcome this pain, but not have to deal with it over and over. So we've had some little hiccups in the process, but nothing that's going to keep me away from playing PV. So I'm happy about that.
I know you mentioned the dreaded R word. What is that came to your mind? At what point in time did that hit, and how did you walk away from that possibility?
Yeah, I would say it was before. So I stopped July officially, and then probably about September, I just thought my body was gonna bounce back, and I was gonna be able to do at least the Asia swing, and we thought no, or we knew that was not in the works, and the Solheim Cup hit, and that stung a little bit, and we just thought, maybe this could be the start of the R word. And what's great about my team is that they shut that down real quick. That is not going to happen. And my parents, my nieces and nephews, they're just like, we don't want you to stop playing, and I don't want to stop playing, obviously, but we kind of came up with a plan, and if it wasn't for that, my own belief and my team's belief that I could still come back and compete at my very best, then I was going to give it a shot. And so I don't even say the full R word. I just call it the R word. So, I'm just really thankful for my inner circle, the doctors that have been treating me. I felt like a little lab rat for the first 2-3 months. It was just not a fun experience. But again, I learned a lot about myself, and how much my team is just the MVP of this whole thing, and just very, very thankful.
What was it like watching the Solheim?
A lot of different emotions as well. I got a call. I was very thankful for the call from Stacy. I knew I was going to get picked, obviously, and she did give me a phone call and told me, and I respected her for doing that. And I said, just once I come back, don't leave me out of the circle. I still obviously want to compete at the highest level of women's golf, and it's been such a significant part of my career. But I was happy to see my teammates out there, Jennifer Kupcho, Danielle Kang, and just for Stacy to be such a gracious captain. And although technically they did not lose, it didn't go in our favor. But they gave it their all, and that's what I was hoping that they would do.
Lizette, you talk a lot about the team and your family, but for you internally, what's motivating you still at this point in your career where the R word is way down in the future for you?
Yeah, I think the way my brain works is if someone keeps throwing, if a negative thought or a negative comment is thrown at me, I want to do whatever I can possible to reverse it. So the more the R word and the more maybe you're done, it's no, I'm not. And it was very hard to explain that to people. It's oh, well, what are you going to do next? It's no, that's not a possibility right now. And I acknowledge that at some point I will have to hang up the clubs and go about my life. But I wanted to give myself the biggest chance possible to make a full recovery and to give it my all. Unfortunately, I'm not as young as I used to be, and I have to listen to my body. And I feel like we've done a good job as a team to to be accountable for my actions and how I prepare, and to make certain changes to make the best comeback that I could have. But yeah, the more I hear something negative, I get fired up inside and say now I have to prove myself wrong, that I don't want to give this game up right now.
Love that. And for you, you're such an advocate for mental health, and you've been really open about your journey with that. And I know as much as this has been physical, it's been mental for you. How have you, and really, how have you given yourself grace as you've been going through this, and really from a mental health perspective, how have you kind of kept it in check? Have there been things you've been doing, or is it just that tenacity of, you know what, I'm going to prove these people wrong?
Yeah, no, it's been a combination of things. Like I said earlier, you know, there's life outside of golf, and I've witnessed a lot of life experience through my family. Like my uncle passed away during this difficult time, or this time that I was home, and a couple of really significant teachers have passed away also. And I've just gotten to learn, or gotten to realize, like, life is bigger than golf, and I've grown spiritually. Like I've always been a religious person, but more so just focusing on that and learning more about my inner strength. Rather than, you know, physically. And it's also just the people around me that have just kind of opened my eyes to bigger things. I think in September, I took a visit to Mexico with my parents and visited the home where my dad was raised in. And it just, it hit pretty hard just to see where we've come so far. And it's like, I can't give up yet. Just to see how much they have fought for me, I can't let, I'm gonna get emotional. I just can't let this go right now. So there's things that have happened that have kind of just put some extra gas in the tank, and here we are, and I'm just so thankful for those beautiful experiences. And you know, I love golf, but I know there's more to life than just that. But again, I'm very thankful for what it's given me, and I'm just going to go and give it all I can for it.
And then just one more from Kent.
Lizette, it kind of sounds like you're at a slight crossroads where mentally you want to accomplish a number of goals going forward, but your body may not let you, and you're trying to acknowledge where your body's at. Mm-hmm. So where is your body right now, and what are those goals going forward for you this year?
My body's intact right now, which is good. We're feeling good. We're, you know, I think our goal is to get into a rhythm, you know, getting back to tour life and getting back to the competitiveness. The goal is to not beat myself up so much. I've done that in probably my entire career. Obviously, do I want to win? Obviously. Do I want to make another Solheim? Obviously. But it's a process. And what I've learned is, you know, get excited for the unknown. I think as an athlete, we get so focused on like the end result. Like, I want to get here. But what I've learned is that we forget how to enjoy the process and how to love that fight, that grind. And I'm in that process right now. And again, my golf is very boring. So I'm just going to go back to the boring golf of fairways and greens and try to make as many putts as I can. Again, I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't believe that I had the capability of performing with the best in the world. So just very, very lucky, very thankful, and we'll see what happens.
All right. Thank you, Lizette.
Thanks.